Hello, beautiful ladies. Welcome to Thyroid Strong Podcast. Dr. Emily Kiberd here. It is the middle of July 2025, and I saw this post on Instagram that I had some thoughts around that I wanted to share. Not specifically thyroid related, but we're going to make it Hashi related. The post says, "You are not too busy. There are 168 hours in a week. 56 of those hours are for sleep. 40 are for work. That leaves 72 hours in a week. If you can't find 3 to 5 hours to build something better, a business, a body, a relationship, a new version of you, the issue isn't time. It's what you're choosing to value." And I thought this was so interesting because this is a very masculine take on time. Like, oh, if you're not disciplined enough, then what are you choosing to value? And I think for the Hashi ladies, a lot of the women that I work with are type A high performing women. When they're not doing the thing, sometimes there's a lot of shame and blame or feeling not enough or the best mother or I should have done more. And I think the conversation around time, especially with Hashimoto's, is an interesting one because what this person is talking about is like, you have 72 hours. If you don't have 5 hours a week to, let's say, build a body, like work out, it's not a time issue, it's a value issue. And I think a lot of the women with Hashimoto's are using their time to better themselves. They are taking the time to go gluten-free and make gluten-free snacks, meals, meal prepping. They're taking the time to figure out how to time their medication an hour away from food and other supplements. They're taking the time to do research of like, how should I be eating? How should I be working out? What should I be doing? What am I missing? But something's missing, right? It's not working. How many times have I heard, I've gone gluten-free, I'm taking the meds, but I still feel like terrible. They're taking the time to put themselves to bed so that they can, quote unquote, feel like they have enough energy. And I'm a big believer that if the moms of the world are feeling better, the world is going to be a better place because they are home base. They are the keystone of the family. And so if they are feeling good, then that radiates out to the children, to the husbands, to their coworkers, mainly the children, right? Like that's the future of our species. And that if they are showing up as a more present mom, a more loving herself, loving her kids, present patient mom, the world's a better place. And so when we think about time and we think about value, it's like, yes, do the foundational things to feel better. But if that's not working, what do you do? And a lot of times there is something making you not feel good that just maybe hasn't been found yet. When I work with women, their top two goals typically are, I want to lose weight and I want to get my energy back. And when we think about, okay, what's number one between those two and what's number two, it's really get your energy back. So if I can help someone get their energy back, they can do whatever they want with that energy. They could go start a new business. They could get out of a bad relationship. They could hang out with their girlfriends to fill their soul. They could be more present with their kids instead of taking a nap. They could be more playful instead of taking your kids to the park and you're sitting on the bench and you're like, all right, guys, go play. Mom, you'll be here on the bench. Resting her body. And I know this because I've been this as a mom of two, of a 5 and a 9-year-old. Now, I feel like right now, this phase of life, it's like starting to get a little easier, but when they were younger, I felt like I was in it. And so if you can get your energy back, you can do whatever you want with it. You could take all that energy to then go lose weight. Losing weight requires energy to get up and do the do and meal prep and figure out your calories and your macros and stick to them. Figure out your meal timing, figure out when you're going to work out and get your steps and put yourself to bed and get your sleep. Those are all the components that are required to lose weight. And so I think about some of the women I'm working with right now. When we started, we're exhausted, dragging, could not move the needle to do what they needed to do. So for example, working out. And not that working out is necessary to lose weight, but it is necessary to change body composition. So I'll just say that again. Working out is not necessary to lose weight. The thing that's required to lose weight is eating less food. But to change body composition, to look like you are fit, muscular, toned, you don't just want to be a smaller version of yourself. You want to look athletic and healthy, and you want a little waistline. Whatever is the version that you dream for your own body, lifting weights is required to change body composition. So I think about the women I'm working with, and for almost all of them, there was one thing or multiple things that was zapping their energy that then was making it more challenging for them to do the workout, to meal prep. And we would start to pull back on workouts as like, okay, hey, if you only have the energy to get a walk in, take a walk and at each intersection, do 5 air squats so that maybe over the course of your walk, you're getting in like 30 air squats. Just body weight, nothing crazy. We're not doing like 10 to 20 at each intersection, just 5. But ultimately, it was figuring out what was the root cause zapping their energy that helped them get their energy back. And they're like, oh my God, I feel like a totally different person. And now I feel like I can do the do. So it wasn't necessarily this pushing energy of like, okay, I have 72 hours. If I don't have 3 to 5 hours to get myself feeling better, I don't value my health. And that's not it at all. It's, can you find a root cause that is contributing to fatigue or lack of energy, which in my experience, when I don't have energy, I totally disassociate. I have no affect. I feel totally numb. I don't want to hang out with anyone. I just want to go to bed and be left alone when I have no energy. And I'm very short-tempered. And so if I can get women's energy back, then they can go do whatever they want with it. So I'll give you 3 examples of 3 clients I'm working with right now. The first one is Lisa. Lisa came to me and she wanted to lose weight for her daughter's high school graduation, but she woke up exhausted. She was exhausted all day. And by right after dinner, she was crashing. And she would sleep. We checked her sleep quality. She actually had moderate sleep apnea, a stage 3 tongue tie, and needed some help in that department. So sent her to an airway health dentist. But the other thing that we looked at was not only her blood work actually didn't look that bad, but then her gut. Because there are things in the gut that can zap your energy. And she's like, oh my God, I wake up bloated. I'm bloated all day. It's worse when I eat vegetables. And it is painful. Like I'll eat and I'll double over in pain. And I asked her, okay, is it upper belly? Is it lower belly? And she's like, yeah, it's definitely lower belly, like belly button down. Like, it sounds like you have SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. She had sensitivity to garlic and onions and cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower. She would get constipated and then she would be told, okay, well, eat your fiber, get your veggies. And then she'd eat those and then she'd get more constipated. She's like, I was told to eat my veggies, but now it's not giving me the effect that the doctors are telling me it would do. It's making me feel worse. And these are kind of classic signs of SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, SIBO. So we had her do a SIBO breath test where you drink either glucose or lactose solution, and then you breathe into a bag every 20 minutes for 2 to 3 hours. And then sugar will feed the bacterial overgrowth, and then there will be a production of either hydrogen sulfide, or methane gas. And then as you breathe out into the bag is picking that up. And so she was positive for methane and hydrogen gas. She took the SIBO meds, and I just had a call with her yesterday. She's like, oh my God, I feel like 75% better. My energy is back. I feel like I can actually function versus feeling like a zombie. And I feel like I can finally do the workouts I want to do. It's not that I don't want to do them. I'm just dragging. But now I have the energy. I feel like 75% better. Her and I have more work to do together with some other root causes, but it was getting her energy back, not from a place of gotta be more disciplined, wake up at 5, go work out. Like, you're not disciplined enough. You're not valuing your health enough. It's, hey, there was actually this root cause that was taking her energy and making her feel terrible. And so if we get to the root cause, like being a little detector, like a little, I want to say investigator, but that's my kids' generation. That's not this generation of women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s with Hashimoto's. But if you are hunting down the root cause, it's like putting the right key to the right lock, then unlocks this potential, this energy, this place to then actually have the bandwidth to put into your health, to value getting better and feeling like yourself again. And maybe it's not even feeling like yourself. It's like feeling like a better version of yourself. So that is one root cause. And not everyone has the same root cause. So I'll give you a different example. I have a client, Selena. She has always worked out and always counted her calories and macros, and she's often overtrained and undereaten. And you can see it in her labs. You can see it in her adrenal labs, where she starts the day high and then she kind of crashes the rest of the day, especially around 2 p.m. And a lot of people would think, okay, blood sugar, protein, is she eating too many carbs with that crash? And actually, she hits her protein. We track it together. She works out. She fuels properly around her workout. She's lifting heavy. We've dialed back her workouts from like 5 days a week to 3 days a week. And for her, it was just many years of overtraining and undereating. And so we put her on adrenal supplements to help boost her energy. And now she has the energy to continue to work out, continue to meal prep and track, and to really dial things in for weight loss after many years of undereating, which is actually refeeding her body, eating more food, refueling her body, stoking her metabolism, and dialing back her workouts. But for her, it wasn't SIBO. It wasn't a gut issue. Her gut actually feels really good, and her gut tests really aren't that significant. It was an adrenal issue. And so having someone like myself be able to get to the root cause, to really ask the right questions, that doesn't happen in an endocrinologist's office, right? Where they can spend like 10, maybe 15 minutes. Like we're talking about travel. Did you grow up in a house with well water? Is your belly below upper third, lower 2/3? Is it after certain vegetables? How do you feel if you eat more protein? Are you eating too many fats and that's why you're getting bloated? Is dinner too heavy? Like these are such specific questions that a really trained professional needs to ask to get to the root cause, that just a conventional doc does not have time. And if there is gut issues, the endo is going to be like, go see the gastro. And the gastro is going to be like, let's do an endoscopy and a colonoscopy, right? Because that's the tools that they have. And that's great. And I'm so happy I live in a country where we have access to that. But it's good for the red flags, the serious things, the cancers, the polyps. It's not great for putting all the systems together. And we're just talking about energy right now. Energy can come from adrenals, thyroid, malnutrition, gut, environmental load like mold, parasites. I'm going to tell you one more story, and I like to keep these podcast episodes short. I just had another call with a client named Kelly. Kelly came to me and she's like, I've been taking care of everyone. She has 2 teenagers, husband, multiple businesses, and she is a physical therapist assistant, PTA. So she's like really physical with her body all day. And her main complaint was, well, first she said this, she goes, I've been taking care of everyone and I have felt sick for 12 years and I'm just so sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. I just want to feel better. It's been 12 years of not feeling good and I'm ready. So we looked at her gut. We looked at blood work. She did have some history of living in an old house. So we looked at mold and mycotoxins. And what came back was an H. pylori infection, some SIBO markers that were positive, and some candida overgrowth. And I share this story because the order of operation in which you address things is important. So if we chased candida, or if anyone's listening to this and you worked with a doctor and they're like, you have candida, we got to chase that. That is the wrong order of operations. You will be chasing candida forever, for years, if you don't look upstream. And so I like to start upstream. And really, it's like the brain, the mouth, and the stomach. And so with an H. pylori infection, H. pylori is a bacteria that can burrow into your stomach lining and decrease your production, your own production of stomach acid, which helps break down your food. And if you're not breaking down your food, it's then going to go through the intestine, and the intestine is going to have to work harder to break down food. Probably won't break it down as well. And there will be malabsorption issues, leaky gut, gut dysbiosis, bacterial overgrowth. And you can address H. pylori with supplements for about 60 days, or you could do the conventional approach, which is 2 antibiotics and a proton pump inhibitor. And so she chose the nutraceutical, the 60-day approach with supplements. And 3 weeks in, okay, so someone who's been suffering for 12 years, 3 weeks in, I literally have a list right here. Let me go to it. She goes, my gas and bloat is better. I don't have to take Benefiber all day, every day to have a bowel movement. So she's off Benefiber, which is a little bit of a crutch. She had better bowel movements, more regular, more frequent, more consistent. Before, she was kind of swinging between constipation to diarrhea. She used to run 5 days a week to get the bowels moving for motility in her gut. Basically, she was running 5 days a week on a treadmill to get her to poop. So we had her stop that because it was zapping her energy, and we had her replace it with 3 days of strength training. And then we got to, instead of having her run and take Benefiber to figure out, to get her to poop, because she was so constipated, she wouldn't poop for like 5 days at a time. And then we got to the root cause of why those things were happening. H. pylori, SIBO, candida, potential mold overgrowth. So we're going to address those one by one in the right order. And then she's like, you know what? I didn't realize how much I was crashing at 2 p.m. Like I felt like I had to go lay down in the middle of my workday. And now I don't do that. And she's only 3 weeks into an 8-week supplement protocol for H. pylori. And so if you've been suffering for a long time and you feel, how am I going to get better? I'm suffering. Like Kelly is literally feeling better within 3 weeks. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. I mean, it's not crazy. This is what happens when you get to the root cause and you address it in the right order of operation. And this is the work that I do, that one does as a functional medicine practitioner who's well-trained And if any of these resonated with you, like, holy moly, I need that kind of help, I'll drop a link into the show notes of how you can jump on a call and see how I can help you. I had Hashimoto's, went into remission. I still have Hashimoto's, but it's in remission, right? Like once you get Hashimoto's, you always have Hashimoto's. But I went into remission about a year after I was diagnosed and have stayed in remission even through a second pregnancy, even through moving across the country in stressful times, in 5 mold remediations. And ladies, it is possible to get better. I know that is one of the questions of like, am I ever going to get better? I value my health. I know that there are 70 something hours in the week, but I feel so sick and I'm so sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. I want to change. And so that's what I do with clients is getting to the root cause, helping them optimize body composition, lose weight, get their energy back, get rid of the belly bloat, have amazing crystal clear brain and thoughts that happen and sentences that can be finished. And all you have to do is say, okay, I'm ready and I'm willing to trust the process and do the work. If that sounds something like, oh my goodness, this is what I need, there's a link to jump on a call in the show notes. And I hope these stories inspired you. These were literally 3 calls, follow-up calls that I had yesterday with women that I've been working with. Some of them like 3 months, maybe 4 months. We start with 6 months together. But some of these women, we've only been in it like halfway through and they're already feeling better. All right, ladies, I hope you enjoyed this little client testimonial, my thought on time and value and a very masculine take on discipline and how to kind of spin that. And I'll see you next week.